Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here at SaaS Innovate. My name is Joy DeBolt. I work with the SaaS marketing team. This morning, I have the privilege of introducing our speaker for this session, Dr. Teresa Roberts. Teresa will be giving our presentation on when AI behaves badly, scaling and governing AI systems. Let's give Teresa a warm welcome.
Thank you. Thanks. Well, good morning, everyone. I hope I'm audible. Just give me a thumbs up. Great, great. Well, I'm excited to speak to you today. We've heard a lot about all the good that AI can do. In this session, we're going to flip that coin because if AI goes rogue, it can lead to serious financial, reputational, and legal damages for your organization. Or if I put that differently, as we scale our use of AI, so too we need to uplift our capability of governing and guarding these AI systems. So before I get started, my favorite analogy with AI governance is it's the brakes on a car. It's the invention of brakes that allows us to drive fast cars. So to accelerate innovation, we need the right governance framework. Now, some of you may or may not know, but SaaS has been the leader in model risk management for over a decade. We have customers around the globe who are using our software and solutions for both model governance and AI governance. And before I begin, I want to highlight some of the conversations we are having with banks and insurers all around the world on the topic of AI governance. Now, this is an emerging discipline, but we have set up a AI governance working group that meets quarterly and virtually. So if you are interested in joining this community, they share thought leadership and best practices, please reach out to SaaS and we can add you to the group. So let's get started. So we talk to many financial services around the world on the topic of AI governance. And of course, there's a lot that you can do to put in place a robust and effective governance framework. But today, what I'd like to do is mention 5 key trends or key ingredients of such a framework, and then what can be done about it. So first up is the AI inventory. This is important to register all your AI systems across your organizations in a centralized location. And these are not just models, they are also AI systems, they are use cases, because oftentimes what we observe is that the AI landscape is fragmented across an organization, which means not only do we not know where AI is being used, but we also do not have an idea of the risks that it poses. The second key trend that I'd like to mention is having all of your AI risk ratings assessed. This means that not all AI is created equal. So for a small chatbot that's helping you with research versus a large AI system that's using sensitive customer information, you want to right-size your AI governance and controls based on the risk that the AI introduces. And this is also good practice based on the EU AI Act that expects you to do a risk rating assessment. The third trend that I'd like to highlight is the need for automated and continuous monitoring when it comes to AI. I'm sure folks who are familiar with model risk management and building models, you are familiar with running some tests pre-deployment before you deploy your model. But with AI, the AI systems can't be set and forget. we need to think about not only productionizing the AI system, but also the controls around the governance into production, so we can continuously monitor that the AI is behaving within our model risk appetite or our AI risk appetite. And then, of course, as the regulations are bubbling up across the world, there's a big focus on AI literacy. So from your board level down to the interns, they all need to understand what is AI, what are AI risks, and what do I do if I identify a problem. So board level reporting on all your AI systems is critical for compliance. And the last trend that I'd like to mention is the algorithms are heavy on data, right? That goes without saying. So what we observe is that there's convergence between data governance, data quality, and model governance. So think about that if you put in place an AI governance framework. So let's spend some time on the first trend, which is your AI registry, the inventory. And here we want to think of it as larger than a model inventory. It goes beyond that, because in this example, we see a fraud detection AI system that consists of multiple different models, different data sets, and different rule sets to make up that final AI system. So we want to classify all of our models with confidence within our AI inventory. Then let's pause also for a minute to talk about the risk ratings. I've mentioned that not all AI will pose the same level of risk. What is expected from the regulators like the EU AI Act, and this is quite a comprehensive regulation in terms of AI. It's the first globally, and it applies to multiple jurisdictions, and also any company who wants to operate in the EU. They need to classify all of their AI systems. Some are prohibited. So for example, if you want to do social scoring or those type of AI systems are banned, so no need for us to build them and no need for us to govern them. So this type of tiering system can help us also right size the governance for the level of risk that the AI introduces. If I perhaps mention limited risk and minimal risk, these type of AI systems require very light touch. And this type of schema allows you as an organization to accelerate innovation, because if the risk rating is low, your organization can use the AI with confidence. What we observe for high-risk systems, and this is where you have a heavy demand on model validation and governance, is around 15% of our customers in Europe have their AIs classified as high risk. Now, the good news is that the EU AI Act risk rating assessment is implemented within our model risk management for AI governance software. So you can fill out the questionnaire and it will automatically tell you the inherent risk rating. Of course, you can override that based on your own judgment. So let's take a look at what the product looks like. When you land on a SaaS MRM, what you will see is all your models, all your systems, and all your use cases for you based on their level of risk. We can then navigate to the model inventory, and here we will find a list and the metadata of all the AI systems in your organization. So for example, it's searchable, so I can search for a large language model, ChatGPT, and click through to that model to learn a bit more about this model. So this model is at a certain stage in its life cycle, so I can see where it is being used as well within my own organization. And as it is subject to the EU jurisdiction, it's subject to the EU AI Act. Now here you see the model card, which allows us a very quick board level view in terms of the risks that the AI poses. So here I can see the performance, the fairness, and other types of reports. Now, because I've selected the EU AI Act, I can navigate to the risk ratings assessment that I've just mentioned. And here we can have different questionnaires. This is out of the box. You can also add your own questionnaire. But for example, if I were to select social scoring, which is banned, it will immediately tell me that this use case is banned, and I can inform the business to not pursue the development. There are also other questions around safety, whether the AI system is being used in a safety in the safety space, and if I select yes, of course it's subject to higher scrutiny. Fortunately, this ChatGPT model will be used to help my customers with their lending decisions, and I consider that as an essential service, and therefore this AI system is considered high risk. And based on this information, I can now decide, do I want to add some additional validation checks on a regular basis to ensure that the model is, or the AI system is performing as expected. You can also override the risk tiering based on your own judgment, and that will inform the final rating for the AI. Once you're done within model risk management, we can navigate to the next task, which in this case is a peer review. Okay, so you've seen the inventory and you've seen the risk ratings. Let's move to the next trend, which is around automated monitoring of your AI systems. So imagine being in a small validation team. You have a dozen of large language models that your team now needs to monitor and validate using thousands of prompts and guardrails. If we look at the trajectory of the increased reliance on AI, that simply doesn't scale. So we do need to look at operational efficiencies and automation benefits when it comes to monitoring AI systems. Sorry. And one more point to mention, when it comes to AI, we also want to understand the interdependencies between the AI systems. So what are the upstream and downstream implications and use? So on the left-hand side, you can see the interdependency map. That is also part of the application. And on the right-hand side, with AI, we need to expand beyond our traditional metrics of monitoring to include also utility, cost, toxicity, the groundedness of the AI system. So there's a lot more KPIs to incorporate in your monitoring. Now, if we pause for a second and think about large language models and the work that needs to go into monitoring these on a continuous basis, a question comes up: how do we look for efficiency and scalability, potentially also automation in monitoring the LLM system? And one of our customers are implementing this approach. This is just one way, but actually using the Judge LLM to check and validate the champion LLM. So you can say it's fighting fire with fire, and we are also introducing additional AI risk by using AI for monitoring. But it could be one way to scale the monitoring of your LLM systems. So in this case, the Judge LLM will look at the the relevancy, the groundedness of the results, as well as provide a second opinion on what the champion LLM is providing. And with AI, we want to evaluate the outcomes of the AI in the context of the decisions that we make. And you've heard this from several other stages at Innovate as well. So in this case, what we want to do is not only productionize the champion LLM, but we want to productionize the judge LLM as well. And we can do that within intelligent decisioning to keep track of the LLM in production. So, which brings us to the next trend, which is around board level reporting. One of the aspects of AI governance that's often overlooked is AI literacy. So what regulators are expecting is for organizations to really make sure that there's a common language across your organization in understanding what AI is and the risks that it poses. So within our application, we have a dashboard that can be used as is, or it can be configured based on your needs. So let me show you what that looks like. So what you see here is the dashboard in Model Risk Management for AI governance, which is populated with data from the solution itself. So if we navigate to the AI systems in use that have low performance, in this case they are subpar in the way they are performing, we can immediately see that there are 33 high-risk AI models associated with this. So if we want to drill down into some of the findings, the issues that have been raised with these models, we can see that there are several issues open. So I can navigate to that. And based on the distribution, these are around ongoing model reviews, data integrity, and the conceptual soundness of the model. So that can tell me, let's go into a bit more detail in terms of the model reviews. If I navigate to that page, I can see all the model reviews, and I notice that some are late in their submission, so I might want to nudge the reviewer to complete the model reviews. And on the right-hand side, you can see the project plan for these reviews. So this gives me a level of overview and oversight in what is going on with my AI systems. There's a dedicated dashboard for AI as well, and here what I can do is I can see the level of risk of these AI systems, as well as some of the additional metrics that's associated with them, where they are used within the organization, as well as the costs that they are incurring running in cloud or your interface. This interface is highly customizable, so here I have some additional information around large language model monitoring that I can drill down into the exact prompts and responses that were generated. So in summary, SAS provides adaptive model risk management and AI governance solutions that handles effective oversight of your AI systems. It also helps you with your time to compliance, and it also helps you to enforce your AI policy within your organization, bringing different stakeholders together. And lastly, I want to mention that we are running a survey on your AI maturity. And if you want to participate in that survey, you can click the QR code and fill in a few of the risk assessment questions that we have, and we will supply you with the results of that. Please participate if you can. And thank you for joining us. If you have more questions, please reach us at the booth.